Camera chooser. Stop recording. Button.
Alright. So this is a story that my girlfriend and her cousin both told me. And this is a response to Matt's video of one of the scariest encounters he had when he was on his way to a certain part of Disneyland. And you can go watch his channel for the rest of that story. But basically, they were down near the lake in a little backwoods place in Texas. And I don't want to give that location. I don't want people going out there and, trying to find this guy. Anyways, so they were just chilling out, looking at the lake, chilling out at the lake. And, there was no one there. Hardly anyone goes to this little lake. So it's a big dirt road that goes down to it. And they said, Brittany was her name. Brittany looked back, and her cousin's name was Tasha. So Brittany looked back and seen this dude coming down. And she said he had to be, like almost 8 foot tall and like 6 foot wide at the shoulders. Just a huge freaking person, right? And she was like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And he didn't say anything. He just kept walking, slowly walking towards them. So she told Tasha, "Hey, let's get up. Let's get out of here." So they just started walking back up towards the dirt road, kind of in the direction he was coming. So he passed by him, and Brittany said she looked back periodically to see what was going on. So he was down towards the lake, and they were, halfway up the road. And then next time she looked back, he's like 10 foot behind them, just walking. But, I'd say one step of this guy would equal 4 or 5 steps of them, because Brittany was pretty short. She's like 5'3", so. And her cousin would not go past Brittany, so she would slow down with Brittany walking. So she's like, "All right, come on, let's speed up." So they sped up a little bit. She looked back, and he was like almost on them. So she said, "Tasha, run!" And when they started running, he reached out and almost got Tasha. Brittany said, like a couple inches away from grabbing her. So they just kept running, and they took kind of, sideways up to the road. And they got on the road and started running. And, they were just like, "Hey, leave us alone, leave us alone." And there's nobody on this freaking road. Finally, a family comes in a minivan, and Brittany and Tasha jump out in the road, and it's like, "Hey, stop, stop, stop." So they stop, and the guy's still walking, and he's behind the minivan. So they're like, "Hey, we need help." So they hop in the van. The people are like, "Yeah, sure." It's like, "Hey, is that guy bothering y'all?" And she's like, "Yeah, he tried to grab my cousin." And he's like, "I don't know, something's weird. He's not talking. He's not saying anything." They're like, "All right, let's get out of here." By that time, the dude's already almost at the van. So they take off. They're going down the road, and they're like, "He won't bother you no more. We just left this F behind." And they're gunning it, And they were just asking more questions, "Hey, what happened? And why is this guy, this guy?" And then the dude's in front of the van. I don't, it just, the only way it can make sense is just looped around. The road looped around, but I didn't really get all that details from her. But um, or there's another twin that looks just like this dude. But anyways, so he's in front of the van, and of course they tried to stop, but they hit him. They hit him on the side when they were going into the other lane of the traffic. So the dude just fell back, and Brittany kept looking back at him. He's on the ground, so it's like, you know, I I don't know. You might have killed him or something. So, and he pops back up. He's back on the road walking towards them. Oh, anyways, so they finally got out of there. But you just never know, man. You never know what people have going on, what kind of mental situation people are in. Um, so just if you're going somewhere alone like that, where you don't know people around you, you don't have anything to protect yourself. Just think about that next time. Now I know there's I can't think of his last name, but he's a ex police officer, ex detective, I believe, David Pilatus. Yeah, if I'm pronouncing his name right, but he does books called Missing 411 about missing people all over the nation, mostly in state parks. Oh, matter of fact, I was thinking of that. So there's a park. I was just thinking about this the other day, and I wanted to talk about it, but it just wouldn't come out in comments on Facebook. I was responding to someone, but basically, I used to live right in front of Sugar Hollow Park, basically right beside of it. And I used to like go walk into the woods and see if I could find like plants or animals, stuff like that. So there's a big bunch of woods. Um, I guess it's before you get to Sugar Hollow Park. I don't know if it's part of the park. I don't really know what's going on with that there. But anyway, so I'm walking through it, and finding cool plants and animals, insects, and stuff like that. So I get pretty deep into the forest, and there's a fence that's up like a waist high fence, and I'm thinking, I wonder why did they put this here? What's the fence here for? Because it wasn't like a cow fence; it was like a chicken, like you make a chicken coop out of the big rectangles. So I went up to it and I'm following it down, and there's placards on it. And this is in the state of Virginia, and it's probably, I don't know, 20 miles from Tennessee. There's placards on it that say Department of Tennessee Wildlife. And somebody must put that on there for a joke. So I just keep following it down, and there's another one, the same freaking thing. And I'm like, there's no way I went into Tennessee, because I pretty much know where I'm at, right? So, and I'm going down the fence, and I see another one up ahead. So I'm just thinking, I don't know what's going on, but I want to get out of here. So, my cousin told me that there was a cave back there. So that's another thing I was searching for. So I just kind of cut to the middle of the forest, and I come upon this spot not too far out from there, and it's a huge dip in the ground, like like a boulder or something smashed onto the ground. like a gigantic boulder or meteorite or something. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it may have just been a sinkhole. There's a lot of sinkholes around here. But the freaking trees are growing sideways into this dip. There's this big, giant, deep dip. And they're not coming uprooted, they're just growing into the dip. So, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's very unusual. It's pretty weird. So, I'm getting the heck out of here, you know. And on the way up there, before I seen the tags, there was a really cool field there. It was a big open field, and it had a lot of cool, just stuff you could sit there and just chill out and look at. So I told my friend about it, and I told him about the placards and stuff, because he just lived right on the other side of the field, which I later found out the field was right down from another place. So I go to show him that, just show him the placards and that whole landscape, the dip, everything. It's not there. The fence is not there. Nothing. So I don't know, you know, how I missed it, or it, I don't really know how to explain it, basically. But anyways, that's going to be it just for this video, and I'll come back with some more stories and some other stuff. So later.
Camera chooser. Stop recording. Button.